go before I can stay. Welcome to the Montgomery County Young Democrats Congressional District 8 Candidate Roundtable. That's a mouthful. We wanted to bring folks together in sort of a laid-back setting. So our candidates aren't going to be on a panel here talking to you for an hour or two. I wanted to make sure, exactly, agreeing on things. We wanted to make sure that we provided an opportunity for candidates to have a conversation with our members, and for you all to have a conversation with them about issues that you care about, issues that millennials care about in this congressional election. So what we're doing tonight is a little different. You're all seated at some tables, and Jared will explain the rules of the road. But I just wanted to thank everybody again for coming out. I'm on a Friday. Really, really appreciate it. I'm Will Roberts, by the way. I didn't say that. I'm the president.
I will.
I didn't say that so you could clap. I said it because I forgot. But I wanted to make sure that I recognize our co-sponsors. In Montgomery County, we're blessed not only with great Democrats that are running for office, but with great Democratic organizations that are out there working to build the party, strengthen it, and work on the issues that we all care about. So I want to thank the Bethesda Chevy Chase Democratic Breakfast Club for co-sponsoring, the District 16 Democratic Club, the District 19 Democratic Club, the 20 Democratic Club, the Latino Democratic Club, the Muslim Democratic Club, and the Women's Democratic Club. And I saved the African American Democratic Club for last because I may not have time for this shout out at the end. I want to let you know that next Saturday in Silver Spring, the 3rd annual State of Light Montgomery will be going on, where not only will you hear at the back end of the day from these great candidates again in a candidate forum dedicated to issues in the African American community, but you'll also get to participate in several discussions about substantive issues in that community as well. So I wanted to take the privilege of the mic to shout out State of Light Montgomery. The MCYD is a great partner of that. So with that, I'm going to bring up our great political director, Jared Solomon, who did a lot of the work to put this together and to talk about our program tonight. Let's get Jared.
Thanks everyone for coming. I know it's cold. Thank you to all the candidates for being here. So I just wanted to very quickly kind of go through a little bit of the rules of the road before we get started with opening statements. So you can see we decided to change things up a little bit from some of the other forums that have gone on. So what essentially we're going to do tonight is like candidate speed dating. So you all should have gotten, it's really the best way to describe it. So you all should have gotten a number when you walked in. We may or may not abide by those. We just want to make sure that there's a healthy group at every table. But we've got 7 tables. We have 7 candidates. Kathleen Matthews is on her way. I think there was an accident on 270. But what we want is every candidate to get time to really engage with folks at each table, with all the participants and all the voters here tonight, and have a conversation. So after opening statements, we're going to break up into groups, and we're going to give each table, give or take, about 5 or 7 minutes. You have a moderator at each table with a set of some of the questions that we heard from folks either through social media or our last membership meeting. So you can choose from those, or as a table you can come up with your own. So topics ranging from climate change, criminal justice reform, campaign finance reform, things that are quote unquote part of the millennial agenda, like we have some crazy agenda. But once we get started, every candidate again will get 10 minutes at each table, and then we will rotate. So we'll be doing that for a little bit more than an hour, for about 70 minutes. And again, the idea there being that everybody gets a chance to really interact one-on-one with the candidates, as opposed to trying to give every person 30 seconds to answer the same question, up at the front. So we wanted to change things up. As you can see behind me, all the candidates here have campaign staff and volunteer opportunities and literature. So somebody you meet tonight really strikes your fancy and you want to get involved, please make sure you come up and grab their information. And there's plenty of campaign opportunities between now and April. And we also, we're just happy to have you all out here and be part of the political process and with the Young Democrats. And then for the candidates, so we are going to try to keep your opening statements to 1 minute. We figure, just like one of you, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be going to the House of Representatives come this time next year, where they will gavel you down. I work in the Senate where you can talk as long as you want, but in the House, there's strict rules. We don't have a gavel, but we're going to ask, we'll have a timer, and we're going to ask that you guys abide by that 1 rule mark as best as possible. And we're going to call you up just alphabetically. So we're going to start with Dave Anderson.
Thank you. It is great to be here. During election 2004, I was executive director of a college student political empowerment effort called Youth 04. And in a short book that I wrote, I said as follows: A society that does not pay attention to its young people is deaf to its future. I'm very glad to be here tonight so I can tell you some of my ideas. But I'm also glad to be here so I can listen to your ideas and your concerns, so I can pay attention to you. I think we need, to make college more affordable. I think we need a new student loan forgiveness program. I think we need a jobs program for millennials. In my career, for 34 years, every job I've had has basically been about college students and democratic politics. I've taught at 6 universities over the course of 20 years. For the last 11 years, I've raised money from 20 states to bring college students to Washington to learn about our system. In this race, I'm an independent voice who draws from all sides, and I ask you to remember, a society that does not pay attention to its young people is deaf to its future. Thank you.
Delegate Barbe?
Okay, hi, my name is Kumar Barbe. I grew up in Silver Spring, attended public school there, got an accounting degree at Georgetown University, but let me see a show of hands. How many people here attended the University of Maryland system in some way? Okay, well, guess what? I used my skills as an accountant to close $200 million in corporate tax loopholes, and we used that money to freeze tuition at the University of Maryland for 4 years. You could clap. Second, how many people here think fracking is a bad idea? See a show of hands. Well, as the chairman of the Environment and Transportation Committee last year, I passed a moratorium on fracking. And finally, how many people here really feel that it should be a part of the agenda to make sure that everybody, whether they go to high school or graduate from college, everybody has a great career and a great opportunity to earn a living? See a show of hands. Well, that's why I'm running for Congress. I believe in that kind of an economic agenda, and I want to talk to you about it at your different tables. There's so much ground to cover, but I do want to thank you for having given us all this opportunity, because unfortunately in this campaign, some of the economic empowerment issues that I'm really into, creating technology jobs, have just not been addressed, and I hope I can do that tonight. So again, thank you so much, and by the way, when you elect me, you will elect me to be the first Asian American member of Congress from the state of Maryland ever. Thanks.
Hello everybody. Thank you very much for being here. My name is Ana Soto Gutierrez, and I want you to know that I'm just delighted to be in a group like you. We normally don't have this demographics at our forums. This is a great idea because, as all of you know, I'm sure you know, that the demographics of Montgomery County has been changing. Most of you have not seen it the way it was when I went to Bethesda Chevy Chase High School, where there was 2 Latinos, 2. Myself and the son of the ambassador from Argentina. Moved forward about 200 years, and we now have a completely different demographics here. We are now a majority minority. That means there are more minorities than white citizens or residents in Montgomery County. And I think that what is important is that you need to elect someone that's going to be able to represent the Montgomery County of today. I am an immigrant. I am from El Salvador. Salvadorians are now the third largest Latino group in the United States. And the largest foreign-born population in Montgomery County and in Maryland is Salvadoran. I'm sure you all know a Salvadoran somewhere, either because you've gone to school with them or because you're working with them. We are all around. I have been very active in Montgomery County since I came when I was a very young child. I went to school here. I got the best education possible in a public school. And that's why my passion is to continue supporting public education, because it gave me the opportunity to become a chemist, an engineer, to have a terrific job, and to be able to be a single mom that raised 3 sons. That's not easy. and to be able to have both a professional career and as well as a public service career. I began at the school board because of that passion for education, and I still hope that we'll be able to close that gap. I'm going to continue working for that equity that is still missing in our public schools, and of course to give everybody that opportunity for higher education. I love the idea of free community colleges. We have a lot of wonderful ideas, especially in this election. We're hearing very progressive proposals. I am as progressive as you can get. So I've been at the state level now. I'm on my 14th year. And I just have an awful lot of sharing that I would like to have with you, but I also want to hear from you. So thank you very much. I'm sorry I went over my time. Thank you.
Will Blondo.
Thank you, Kate. Do it now or later. I rise, Mr. Speaker, as the only African American in this race, as the only millennial, as the only one with massive student loan debt, as the only candidate who's worked in the House, the Senate, the White House, a federal agency, and in the corporate sector at Discovery Communications. Now, why does that matter? It matters because 90% of our elected officials in this country are white. It matters because over 40 million Americans have student loan debt equaling $1.2 trillion, averaging $30,000 for a 4-year college graduate. It matters because you can't have the same people from the same communities, from the same backgrounds, from the same schools, making decisions and expect different results. The definition of that is insanity. You heard Anna talk about Montgomery County of now. We also know that the average age of a congressional Democrat in the House of Representatives is 60. We know that there are not diverse voices, and not just racial and ethnic. We're talking about age, we're talking about life experience, at the table when decisions are being made. And why does that matter? When I worked on the Senate Education Committee for 4 years, and I stood up and talked about the importance of raising Pell Grants and investing in TRIO programs that help low-income students get to and through college, and then we increased funding for those students. People listened, and it changed the conversation in the room, and policy and people's lives were improved. That's what this election is about. It's not about who's a good person. It's about what's needed now and what voices are not represented. And I ask you to think about that tonight as we discuss all these issues. I yield the floor.
Thank you very much. And we're all here as ardent, true blue Democrats, but I wanted to start on a bipartisan note by invoking our last great Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, who spoke of government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And today, in the Citizens United era, we're moving into a situation of government of big money, by big money, and for big money. And the brilliance of what you've done tonight and what you're doing in this group is that you are hanging on to and reviving and resurrecting the kind of grassroots democratic politics that we're going to need to take on all of the plutocratic directions in American society today. And as you work your way through the Young Democrats and onto county councils and state delegate and state senator and into Congress and so on, you are going to bring with you the passionate experiences you have as Democratic partisans. Now, I am the state senator from Silver Spring and Tacoma Park, and I've been doing that for 10 years. I'm also a professor of constitutional law. In the Senate, I'm the majority whip, and I've had the incredible honor to lead the fight for marriage equality, to lead the fight to abolish the death penalty in our state after 4 centuries, to lead the fight for the Second Chance Act, to give people a second chance after they have a single nonviolent misdemeanor conviction, to lead the fight to ban assault weapons, which we did. We have gotten these things done through organizing change in the state of Maryland. So you guys are part of a very proud progressive tradition here in Maryland, and I'm happy to get the chance to meet you tonight. I'm going to invite everybody to take my card, send me your email, and I make you this promise: you will never be lonely again. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, my name is Joel Rubin, and I'm thrilled to be here with you, with the Young Democrats. Thank you for having us here. I'm a champion for progressive values, with a bit of a hoarse throat, so sorry about that. A champion for progressive values with a track record of getting things done in Washington, at the federal level, and in the field, in the grassroots. After college, I joined the Peace Corps. That really was my inspiration to getting into public service. I worked every day in the fields on environmental projects, fighting to stop climate change. I brought that passion back with me to Washington after graduate school, and I decided to have a life in public service where I hoped to make a difference. And that moment came when, after the Iraq War, I realized we had to fight against it. I was in the Senate as a staffer, fighting against the Iraq War to stop it, making a pledge to go even further, to prevent another war. So I helped to start a group called J Street, which was a Middle East peace advocacy group. The goal was to prevent future wars and resolve our problems diplomatically. And we worked for years to fight for diplomacy with Iran. Before that, I was asked, after my advocacy work, to go work for Secretary Kerry as his top aide, handling the House of Representatives. I did that work. We won that fight. We can do that on a whole host of issues. We have a lot of big issues coming up. We have retirement security to worry about. We have the question of will Social Security be there for us in 20 years. We have to worry about women's health. Crises abound. My wife just came out of the hospital from surgery. I'm very attuned to this. It matters. I have 3 daughters at home as well. This is personal to me. We have environmental catastrophe looming. We know it. The climate is changing. We all have a responsibility to deal with this. This will take time. It will take partnership and patience. I submit to you that my background as an advocate, an activist, a grassroots worker, and an operative both as a congressional aide and at senior levels in government bring me tonight to offer you to choose me and support me in this race so we can make these changes that we need to. Thank you.
Thank you to all the candidates. So we are actually going to take about 7 or 8 minutes. It looks like almost every table is full. If we could get a couple of folks, I don't think we really need to do the numbers, but a couple of folks from up here maybe to filter around to table 5 and table 1 in the back there. Again, we're going to shrink it down from 7 tables to 6. And so if everybody could just pair up with the moderator, there should be a moderator at each table. I'll ask the members of the board to make sure that every table is represented and the folks who we asked as moderators. Can the moderators raise their hand? Just want to make sure we've got one at every table.